Hi there. If you're watching this, then I'm guessing that you want to learn about tennis. Well, if you want to learn about tennis, then first I have to be on a tennis court. That's better. Alright, let's get started. If we're going to talk about tennis, then first we need to talk about some of the shots that we use in tennis. So today, I'll talk to you about the forehand, the backhand, and the serve. Alright, so let's talk about the forehand. So one thing you want on your forehand is when you load backwards, you want your arm and conversely the racket to be perpendicular to the backside. So you want to put your arm back pretty far. And then once you swing through, you want to make sure to brush up and go from low to high, and that'll ensure that your ball has topspin on it. And that's going to be crucial for a forehand because when you start hitting it hard, you want to make sure that the ball has enough spin so that it actually stays in the court. And once you're done with the forehand, you want to make sure to brush and follow through and point your elbow towards where you want the ball to go. Alright, so the backhand is a lot like the forehand, so there's going to be a lot of similarities in this swing. For the backhand, again, you're going to want to make sure that your racket points pretty far back, and then you're going to want to swing through, brush up, and then follow through like that. So it's very much similar to the forehand. I prefer to use the two-handed style, which is more popular recently because of new racket technology. But it gives you a lot more control, but as you'll see, there's also the one-handed style, which is reminiscent of tennis back in the 70s and the 80s. Although people do use it now, it does give you a lot more power, but it is a lot more inconsistent, so it's definitely a trade-off because you have one arm instead of two. You have a lot more arm room, so you can swing a lot more, but the second hand does give a lot of stability. Okay, so now let's talk about the serve. So the serve is obviously pretty important because you want to start the point with it. And one thing you're going to note about the serve, so Young here, he's going to lean forward a little bit when he serves, and then right then lean back, and then go through the swing like that. And that'll give him some more momentum. So the serve is really about your body. There's not that much arm to it. So you really want to swing through with your core and your legs, and you sort of use their power to go through the shot. So one more thing to note about serves is that in tennis, there's a first serve, which is the shot you first hit, and then if you miss your first serve, you have a second serve. So for the first serve, you usually want to go, you want to go and hit it as fast as you possibly can, because you have that backup. But then for your second serve, which is what Young is doing here, he's going to spin it a little more, and that spin is going to make sure that the ball stays in the court and goes into the box, because when you miss your second serve, you lose the point. So making the second serve is definitely crucial, and this is a good example of how it's done.
Well, the first time I played tennis, my mom actually signed us up for a lesson, and I had just recently quit badminton, so she decided to make me try another racket sport. I went to the lesson very pessimistic, and I actually didn't hit a single ball at that lesson until the very last 10 minutes. When I hit my first ball over, I'm like, oh wow, this is actually fun. And I kept trying to hit balls over, and I kept succeeding, and I actually got decently good in that 10-minute period. That's actually how I got my love for tennis.
It was the first day of 6th grade. And we were going to this clinic, me and my friends. And so we went to the clinic. But then, you know, they didn't tell us that tennis would include a lot of running. That kind of sucked. So they made us take all these big giant balls And yeah, so these medicine balls, and then we carried them around, and we like threw them at each other. Yeah, and then we finally got to hit the balls, and they were pretty bouncy and pretty hairy. And you know, it worked out, but you know, it was a challenge. Let's see what's another. Oh yeah, so when you serve, you have to like hit the ball, but sometimes I would hit the ball backwards like this, because you would toss it up and you go like, and then you know that would happen. So then the ball would hit my friend in the back, and then he'd like throw it back, and that hit me, and then so that tennis in the beginning was
the first time I played tennis, I was inspired to play because of people on TV. So I would watch pros on TV, and I thought it was really cool. And it was like a sport that kind of matched me because I liked the sport that was more about like skill instead of like brute strength. And so the first time I played, I just got one of my friends to join me and take lessons from like a neighborhood coach around the area.
I looked up to anyone better than me when I was starting to play tennis. So that included my brother, my fellow teammates, my coaches, a few professional tennis players too, like Roger Federer. Yeah, mainly Roger Federer.
And why Roger Federer?
Because he's the greatest of all time.
And why is he the greatest of all time?
What? He has 18 Grand Slam wins, which is unparalleled by any other tennis player in history. The second highest is 14, and he's been playing for almost 20 years now.
This guy named Jack Sock, right? And I really liked him because he had a cool name. That's about it. You know, he was also tall and pretty. I think he's British. I'm not sure. He might be like European.
He's American.
Okay, he's American. All right. From America, you know, America. All right. So Jack Sock, this guy, you know, he plays pretty well. He got to like the semifinals of some random tournament. I think that's pretty. All right. After Jack Sock, you know, you have my boy Monfils, right? And this Monfils guy has all the feels, you know, cause it's the feels. All right. So Monfils, he's pretty cool, you know. He jumps around and he like tries to flap around on the tennis field like he's some
Tennis field.
like Magikarp or something. But anyways, he jumps around. He's pretty cool. But then he's a really lazy butt who doesn't do anything and doesn't win any of these tournaments. So I really hate him now. But now we have my boy Nishikori. Alright, Nishikori is my homeboy from the country of Japan, right? Japan. I'm not even Japanese, but you know, I think I am partially Japanese just because I'm Asian. Alright? So Nishikori, he's my current favorite right now because he is just an amazing player and he does everything all around and he's also Asian. So
when I was a kid, I looked up to Roger Federer. He's like my childhood tennis hero kind of person. And I like how he's just really smooth in the way he plays and really skillful. Unlike, you know, most people who just use like really like brute strength to kind of hit the ball. And he plays really unconventionally, but he's still like considered the best player in the world and maybe even the greatest of all time. So I really admired that. On the team when I joined, there was a guy named Michael Nguyen. He was the captain, and he was like the best player I've ever seen in person. So watching him play was really cool.
Well, I guess some of my favorite experiences are crushing our opponents because we're in a league that it's quite low of a caliber compared to us. Like, even though the Leland tennis team isn't that good compared to other schools like Bellarmine or Menlo Park, in our league we're essentially the best school because the other schools don't really know how to play tennis.
Wow. So I've spent 4 years on the Leland tennis team, and boy, it's been a journey. Wow. So we've lost a lot of games because we're not really that good. But, you know, with the help of Coach Doug and the coach of Steven and Corey, I think we've gotten pretty far considering I really sucked back then, but I still suck less now. But I still suck. But it's okay because we all suck. So what we do on the tennis team, we don't play a lot of tennis, contrary to popular belief, because, for example, we like to play this game where we try to serve at each other's bodies. It's very dangerous. We like to live on the edge. Keeps our adrenaline going. Keeps us young. You know, like we gotta be young to be able to enjoy the fruits of this world. You know, so we do that, and then we have this. We have this annual, you could call like migration or what's the word? You know this travel thing. When we go to the land of Fresno, where old people go to die, and you said that. And then and this Fresno place, it's quite boring actually, but we make it interesting because that's what we do. So when we get to Fresno, we like to party hard, and we like to play the Wii, and we like to pass the Wii around, and it's a really fun time, And sometimes when we're feeling like a little icky, we like to take like Benadryl or Tylenol, all those drugs. But yeah, and then so we go and then we sleep each other on the bed. So Leland's kind of cheap, so we take all of their money and our money, and we spend it on hotel rooms where we have to share beds with each other. Alright, a bunch of teenage boys sharing their beds with each other, and they're sleeping together. Right, okay. So when we're sleeping together, it's a fun time. Not really, but
in the beginning I played a lot of singles, and I thought that was really like the only thing I could do. So I would try to play singles a lot, and I tried to challenge up, but then eventually this year I played a lot more doubles, and I found that after experimenting with double strategies and everything, I kind of like doubles a lot more. It's a lot more fun. So yeah, getting to learn that and then trying out new things was really